In 1901, divers exploring a shipwreck off the coast of Greece pulled out what looked like a lump of corroded metal. At first, it seemed worthless, but when scientists examined it more closely, they realized something impossible. Inside that lump were interlocking gears, precisely engineered like a modern machine, except this device was over 2,000 years old. It could track the movements of planets, predict eclipses, and perform calculations we thought humans couldn't do until the Renaissance. So the question is, how did ancient people build something that advanced without modern tools? And that's just one of many artifacts that shouldn't exist. Across the world, objects have been discovered that break the rules of history, science, and logic. Tonight, we're diving into 10 mysterious artifacts scientists still can't explain, and each one gets more unbelievable than the last. Mechanism. Let's start with the device that shocked the scientific world, the antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck dated around 100 BCE. This object contains over 30 bronze gears, some as thin as a coin. When reconstructed, scientists realized it functioned like an ancient analog computer. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses, track the cycles of the moon, even model planetary movements. To put that into perspective, technology like this wasn't supposed to exist until at least 1,500 years later. No blueprints, no similar devices, no clear origin. It just appears in history and then disappears. So where did this knowledge come from, and why was it lost? If that wasn't surprising enough, let's move to ancient Iraq. In the 1930s, archaeologists uncovered a small clay jar, about 13 centimeters tall, containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. This object dates back to around 250 BCE. When scientists recreated it and added an acidic liquid like vinegar, it produced electricity. Yes, electricity, over 2,000 years ago. This discovery became known as the Baghdad battery. Some researchers believe it may have been used for electroplating metals, medical treatments, or even early experiments with energy. But here's the mystery. There's no written record explaining its purpose, no mention of electricity in that era. So was this just a coincidence? Or did ancient civilizations discover electricity and then lose it completely? But it gets even stranger. Imagine a book that no one on earth can read, not because it's lost, but because the language itself doesn't exist. The Voynich manuscript, discovered in 1912, is believed to have been written in the 15th century. It contains over 200 pages, detailed illustrations of unknown plants, diagrams of strange astronomical objects, and text written in a completely undeciphered script. Cryptographers, linguists, and even AI systems have tried to decode it, and failed every single time. The language follows patterns, meaning it's not random, but no one knows what it says. Is it a lost language, a secret code, or knowledge we're not meant to understand? Now let's move to ancient Crete, where archaeologists discovered a mysterious clay disk in 1908. The Phaistos disk is about 15 centimeters in diameter and covered in 241 symbols, arranged in a spiral pattern. What makes it unique? The symbols were stamped, not carved. This suggests some form of early printing technology, thousands of years before printing presses existed. But here's the problem. No one has ever decoded the symbols, and no other artifact like it has ever been found. It's completely unique, which raises a strange possibility. Was this part of a lost writing system, or something entirely different? If you think things couldn't get more impossible, they do. In Texas, a hammer was discovered embedded in rock that's estimated to be over 100 million years old. Yes, 100 million. The object known as the London hammer has a wooden handle partially fossilized and a metal head with unusual purity. According to geological dating, the surrounding rock formed long before humans existed. So, how did a human made tool end up inside it? There are explanations. Some scientists suggest the rock formed around the hammer later, but the evidence isn't fully conclusive, and the mystery remains. Is this a case of misunderstood science, or something rewriting human history? But now, let's go to ancient Egypt. In 1898, a small wooden artifact was discovered in a tomb at Saqqara. At first glance, it looks like a simple bird, but when analyzed, it revealed something shocking. The Saqqara bird has wings shaped like an airplane, a vertical tail similar to modern aircraft, and aerodynamic proportions. Some researchers believe it could represent an ancient understanding of flight. Others argue it's just a toy. But here's what's strange. When scaled and tested, its design actually glides efficiently. So did ancient Egyptians understand aerodynamics thousands of years ago? Now let's move to Peru. The famous Nazca lines are massive geoglyphs carved into the desert, visible only from the sky. But nearby, archaeologists have found strange artifacts that add to the mystery. These include small figurines with elongated heads, objects resembling flight paths or maps, and tools that don't match known technology of the time. The Nazca lines themselves span over 500 square kilometers. Some lines are perfectly straight for miles, without aerial view. How were they created so precisely? And why? Who or what were they meant for? But what you're about to hear might sound unbelievable. In the mountains of China, researchers reportedly discovered stone discs dating back around 12,000 years. These discs, known as the dropper stones, contain tiny spiral grooves etched into their surfaces. When studied, some claimed the grooves resembled a form of encoded information. Even more strange, the story suggests they tell of beings that crashed to Earth. Now many scientists question the authenticity of these stones. Records are incomplete, evidence is debated, but the idea remains one of the most controversial mysteries in history. Could ancient artifacts hold stories we've dismissed too quickly? Now let's return to Egypt. Inside the temple of Hathor at Dendera, there are carvings that look strangely modern. They appear to show a large bulb-like object with a serpent inside, connected to a base. Some believe this resembles an electric light bulb. Mainstream historians say it represents religious symbolism, but the imagery is oddly technical. Combined with the fact that Egyptian tombs show very little soot from torches, it raises questions. How were these deep chambers illuminated? And why do these carvings look so familiar? Finally, we arrive at one of the most debated artifacts of all, the crystal skulls. Carved from a single piece of quartz crystal, some of these skulls are incredibly detailed. One famous skull weighs over 5 kilograms and has perfectly smooth surfaces. Quartz is extremely hard. Shaping it requires advanced tools and precision. Yet some skulls are believed to be centuries old. Even more strange, scientists found no clear tool marks, which suggests they may have been carved using techniques we don't fully understand. Legends claim they hold hidden knowledge. Science remains skeptical, but one question still lingers. How were they made with such perfection, without modern technology? From ancient computers to impossible machines, from undeciphered languages to objects that defy time itself. These artifacts remind us of something important. History isn't as complete as we think. There are gaps, missing chapters, lost knowledge, and maybe forgotten civilizations. Science has explained so much about our world, but not everything, and perhaps that's what makes these mysteries so powerful. They force us to question what we know and what we don't, because the truth is, we might not be the most advanced humans to ever walk this earth, and until we find the answers, these artifacts will continue to whisper a haunting question. What else have we forgotten?